TradeShowInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Up Only. This is the Up Only show from now on, where the stock market never stops going up. Everything goes up, party all the time. I don't have a camera again today. Ever since I moved to my new place, there's been some issues. So one more show without the camera, but next show we will 100% definitely have it. You guys aren't missing it much anyway. It's at least, you can see the whole screen. You don't have to worry about my head in the corner. Even though that can be fun from time to time. But yeah, this market, I was surprised. I thought getting a 9, we'd at least get some kind of pullback or something, but it's just up only, nonstop. It's fascinating to see. But you can look back, going back to like 2021, you can see how long this can kind of go on for, and you kind of need to get some kind of like divergence, and we don't even have that divergence yet. I mean, we did have back in 2018, or it just dropped off a cliff. And then you kind of had that second divergence, but look how long it took. You had the dump, and then it took like more than half a year before then you had the real kind of pullback. And it just stopped at the 200-week moving average. It rarely goes below that. You can see how in 2022, it also stopped at that 200-week moving average. The only other time it went below that was here. I wonder if we can even go back further. 2009. We go to SPY. Let's see what that looks like. Where does the 200-day moving average provide a decent backstop? And then I'll get into like the normal spiel. I'm just getting a little bit distracted and fascinated by this. Yeah, you can see rarely does the market go below this, except during 2008 and in 2000, the 2001 clash. But since then, in basically my entire adult life, we only dipped below the 200-day briefly in 2020 for like literally 3-4 weeks. So we haven't had any real pullbacks or crashes since basically 2008. It's pretty insane if you think about it, right? It's beyond insane. Look at this market. What a crazy up only market. It's literally up only. We can go to a monthly chart. It never goes below like 42 on the RSI either, except for 2008 and 2000. Those are the only two times, but the rest of the time it bounced every time. And 50 EMA for the monthly. Crazy. Really crazy. You can see there is a divergence here, right? Not confirmed, but currently a building divergence, right, between price here and here. See how price is higher, but RSI is lower. So something to keep an eye on. Anyway, let's go to the news. So speaking of up only, we can see how 51.7% of investors are bullish. The 1-year bull high was 52.9. So we are closing in on that. Curious to see if, this is a bear sign to me. This is a sign to, cool your jets, be careful. Let me check on the YouTube, see who's tagging along here. YouTube, okay. And then we've got, my famous overnight reverse repurchase agreement, where we've come down to 450 billion, 450 billion. So that's slowly draining, but it's kind of tapered off, and you can see how much that's affected things like liquidity, where liquidity has basically stopped going up. And we can see the last time it flatlined and the market and Bitcoin continued higher, eventually things reversed and they came back together. Same thing I expect to happen here, where you had this pulling the market up, and now it's sort of flatlining. Still pushing up a bit. You can see we got a bit of a spike in mid-February, but we are flatlining to a degree. Hello, Afed. Hello, Adam. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome, welcome. 14 people here today. Light day today. You can see I'm a little bit concerned about this liquidity. So it's really not pushing higher the same way that Bitcoin and the stock market are. So Bitcoin is in yellow, stock market is in orange. You can see how they've essentially gone parabolic in comparison to the liquidity map, which is the green line. So I'm a little bit concerned and preparing myself for a bit of a pullback, but so far nothing's materialized. It's just up only every day. Oh yeah, something to keep an eye on. Although if you look at the daily chart, right, where I did a chaos study off this kind of, we do a weekly chart off this W on the weekly chart, right? This was basically the W that broke out. And you can see 2.618 caused a rejection tag. 5,220 is the 4.669 chaos level target. So that is the current spot that I'm targeting and looking for some kind of rejection, some kind of pause with this insanity rally. Although I was expecting we would get one here at the TD9, but maybe we have to push a little bit higher before we pause. Same like what happened back here in July. All right, going back to the data, we looked at investor sentiment, and there's almost no bears. All the bears have been killed. They're dead, completely given up. There might be a few bears standing, but they've certainly lost a lot of their portfolio. We have Forex Factory. Obviously, we had Powell the last 2 days doing, in my opinion, the dog and pony show, where members of Commerce pretend like they care, and Powell also pretends like he really cares. I don't know how true it is. It seems a bit like a show to me, because nothing ever really changes. If we go to 7th, was today, right? So what came out so far? We've got Fed Chair Powell testifies that happened. ECB press conference. Unemployment claims came in basically in line. That's one of the big things we're looking at, are unemployment claims. When those start rising, then the stock market can possibly roll over. So those are things we're looking at. Non-farm employment change is coming out tomorrow. Expect massive volatility in the market. Interesting that they're estimating 200K, but last month had 353. Big difference there. Huh. Interesting. Unemployment rate. Employment change for Canada. Yeah, so this is the big one. Be aware of major volatility going into tomorrow. And then we have options expiry, right? So max pain is going to be at 5,100, but I think the market's already way beyond that, 5,150. I mean, it can go to 5,150, 5,160 without too much damage being done, but max pain would be 5,100. So just keep that in mind. That's it for all the data that I like to look at. Let's go back to the market here. All right, so target is 5,220 going into, I guess, the next week or so. If we continue at the current rate, we should hit this. Like the market's, here's basically your range, right? There's the lower end of the range on this continual up move, and then the upper end of the range is kind of here. So at the earliest, we will hit this on March 12th. Let's go to a daily chart. At the earliest, we hit it today. At the latest, we hit it at the end of the month. Could extend to the end of the month, all the way out here. March, let's see here. March 26th, something like that. Yeah, right there. Between March 20th and March 26th would be the lowest, but you could also go up to it as soon as tomorrow or the next day. So that's the target I'm looking at with SPX. And the reason why this is important is because I don't think that crypto, since the ETFs have been created with Bitcoin, with the Bitcoin ETF, I think there's a huge correlation now between what crypto is doing and what the rest of the legacy market is doing. So if you're really into crypto, you need to still pay attention to legacy markets, because if the Nasdaq rolls over, if the S&P rolls over, then crypto is also going to roll over. And we saw that recently when the market had its pullback, right? We had our, doesn't even look like much of a pullback, but we had the pullback here, and crypto dumped hard. More so with the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq had this big dump right here, which doesn't seem like too much, but it was the biggest pullback we've had probably since February, the beginning of February. This was a pretty decent sized pullback, and you can see we're reversing very, very, very quickly. Same thing with crypto. Everything's reversed extremely quickly, and it just looks like it's pushing higher. If we look at a little W here, where could, what does chaos say? It's to 18,786. Look at that reversal bar. Look at this. Massive reversal. It's crazy. This is so crazy. We look at like an ABCD. Look at that. This is a conservative ABCD. We basically hit our target here, right? Boom, boom. Target hit. Just like that. So we're basically at our target on the NASDAQ. No real divergence yet though on a weekly chart. I want to see some kind of breakdown. I mean, you have a little bit of one, but I need to see more here. I need to see this kind of start to reverse, and I need to see us below this trend heuristic channel. And right now I'm not getting any of that, and it's just heading higher. So I would continue to be cautious. As I've talked about probably the last 2-3 weeks, I've suggested caution with any kind of shorts just yet, simply because this market is in rally only mode, and you're gonna get run over trying to stand in the way of this thing. You gotta wait for some kind of breakdown in these higher time frames, especially the weekly chart. That's what I'm watching for. Until then, just ride the wave, I guess. All right, so that's the S&P, that's NASDAQ. How far into this are we? I gotta keep track of my time here. We're about yeah, we're about 12:50 in, so 13 minutes. So I want to talk about, let's look at gold. So gold recently broke out and went pretty crazy. Look at this, gold at 2158. So gold is broken out on this weekly chart, 3-day chart, daily chart. Look at this run. When gold breaks out, it really likes to run. Here's the upper end of your run. If it just continues higher, it should stop at around 2,250. So 2250 area. I would expect that to be a heavy resistance area, simply because this is our parallel channel that we're looking at. You could even, honestly, it could even come in a bit like that. And then you would say, yeah, around still 2250, that area, 2200 to 2250, I would say would be a nice conservative estimate. We could even say chaos. We could look at chaos levels, and essentially like this would be the range. And you could see how that points to the same kind of area, 2240. So I would say if you're long gold, that's a good area to consider taking profits. This also looks like kind of up only for now. It's hard to even enter this. I mean, if you get some kind of pullback, you could enter with a higher target. Just set a reasonable stop loss, so that if it does reverse quickly, you don't get wrecked. Yeah, it's just when gold takes off like this, it'll just keep heading higher. You can see it riding my 21 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. You could even take like a long here. Like, what if you took a long right here and you stopped below these lows, and you set your target for this high at around 2230. Risk reward is 6-1. Not bad, but you might get stopped out. But at least it's a 6-1, and you could always do it again. Good morning, Cotter. I want to make this a little bit more, extend it a little bit more. Yeah, still about a 6-to-1. You're just a little bit below lows. I mean, if you wanna extend it a bit further, you get a 4.5-to-1 risk reward ratio. It's still not bad. I don't see this pulling back much unless something catastrophic happens. Gold can oftentimes just keep running. Kind of similar to Bitcoin in a way, actually. So ironic that this is happening considering what's going on with Bitcoin. Let's look at the dollar really quick. I think the dollar was not looking so great last time I checked. Yeah, look at the dollar. What a disaster. Things getting more expensive for me in Thailand. I hate seeing this. So dollar started its cliff fall when it broke down here, and you can see on the weekly chart it's kind of in the mid-range zone, but on the daily it looks absolutely terrible. I don't see anything stopping this. So that makes sense for our gold bull case. If the dollar keeps pulling back, then there's no reason why should gold stop going higher. Gold will continue doing the inverse of what the dollar does. So I'm looking for the targets I shared with you on gold, and I'm looking for the US dollar to continue pulling back at least to, let's see, at least to this area right here. 101, the 101 area. I think that's a likely pause and bounce area. So be on alert for that. That'll take out most of the zones all the way down to this one liquidity dump zone. And that's where you could look for everything to pause and the US dollar to reverse. Okay, so that's DXY. Is there anything else legacy I want to talk to you guys about? I know you guys don't care that much about legacy stuff. You care mostly about crypto. Tell me about Bitcoin. Yeah, I think we just jump into Bitcoin and we talk about that and where it could possibly be going. So far, it's up only. You can see how my trend line, this was interesting on the dump here. Let me do it on a 3-day chart. You can see how my upward trend line on this recent dump, it acted as a major support. And they took out everything down here. This is actually a bullish sign that it wicked like that. It was essentially just running liquidity, getting liquidity and preparing for the next move higher. This is silly season we're entering now, where I believe retail is jumping in. We can actually look at, let me see something. Let me see Google. Bitcoin. Google. This is something I think everyone should track. Here. Google Trends. Real-time search trends, not India. We just want around the whole world. Let's look here. Bitcoin. Past 12 months. I don't know why it's directing to India. I don't have my VPN there or anything. Well, it's spiking in India, as you can see. Big spike. Let's go worldwide. And you can see how there's been a recent spike in interest. But if we go back, right, so past 5 years, you can see how there is a spike, but it's very little in comparison to what happened in 2020 and 2021. Only about, based on this data, only maybe 30% of people are interested in it, for even 40% compared to back here. So we're not even at the 50% mark compared to where we were back in 2021, 2022. And if that happens, then expect obviously the trends to shoot way higher, and on top of that, the price of Bitcoin and other altcoins to just skyrocket. The fact that the Google Trends are so low shows that the public isn't really here yet. Are they starting to pay attention? Yes, but they're not FOMOing in. I think they need to see Bitcoin over 100K, maybe higher, before they start really feeling the FOMO and trying to get into Bitcoin positions. Let's see if what chaos looks like from here. Yeah, so we basically tagged the chaos level right on the nose. That's interesting. Oh, nope, we didn't. I had a different line. Yeah, if I'm a little bit more conservative, then this would be our 1.618 level, and then we tag the 4. Did we not tag it? Can't really adjust more than that. So the 4.669 level is at 72,071. On a 12-hour chart, you actually could look at this if you wanted to pay lower time frames and look for a breakdown. Just got to be careful about false breakdowns. But if you get a breakdown in RSI here in the 12-hour, then price will definitely pull back significantly. And that's going to be some major technical damage to the chart. For now, it seems like up only, even if a bit overbought. So enjoy the party while it lasts, because the music can stop at any time. So just keep that in mind. The one like piece of solace you can take from this is that, you know, I showed Google Trends, and I showed how like not too many people in the public are looking up about crypto right now, and there are some, but not like not 2021 or 2022 levels. That would be nuts. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. I guess I didn't give like a price target for it. Do I have a price target? I'd rather not give one. So many people out there giving price targets. I'd really prefer not to do that. It's just not my style. But I would recommend being careful, especially if these nines show up. Add that indicator. If you don't know, it's Truenomic TD sequential. I definitely recommend adding this because it does do a good job of kind of giving you a warning sign that price is going to pause or there's going to be a pullback. Either way, it's a good idea to take profits. And that's exactly what I did. Okay, so let's talk about, I think I want to look at total 3. Yeah, total 3 just keeps marching higher. This is without Bitcoin, without Ethereum. And this is just nuts. We're almost at my 4.669 target. A little bit higher to go. And I drew that off this giant. You can't really see it here, but you can see it here, this giant W. I drew that off that W in price. And we've skyrocketed higher. We're hitting 3.59 level, and the next is 4.669, which just stands at just all you have to do is add 120 billion to the market cap of everything outside of Ethereum and Bitcoin, and we're at my target. Doesn't seem that much when you think about how much the volume on Nvidia in one day, which is an absurd amount for one stock to be trading with. But that's how it is. Do I have any trades for this? Not really. I think there's divergence forming here. Yeah, look at that major divergence. Holy crap. Yeah, no price targets or anything like that. Still bullish. Be careful trying to short this just yet. It still looks like up only. I don't like these kind of divergences I'm seeing, but it's safer to wait for it to play out and break down and then bounce. And then you enter your short position rather than trying to enter it prematurely and getting stopped out, which is painful. Trust me, I'm well aware of it. What else do I want to teach you guys about? What do I want to talk about? Rune is way up and looking good for the next leg up, which based on chaos is pointing to around $16. So another 150% return for Rune is possible. Bitcoin Cash I saw, and yeah, Adam, I agree. It is the M2 money supply. That's a big part of the problem. So this one on the 4-hour chart here shows price broke out from this downtrend, and same thing for RSI. and it's looking decent for move higher here. So you've got breakout on the other side of the trend line, RSI looking strong. The question is, where do I think the price will go? Well, normally it's easier to just do this, and then you put a target at 618, 786, and 886. So maybe put a target here at 4456. Alert at 4, 5, 6. And let's put another alert right here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so those are my targets. I would think 489 and 500 are a good area to consider taking profits and exiting the positions. Just my viewpoint. Let's see, any other coins that I want to talk about? I mean, we talked about Rune, we talked about Litecoin, we didn't talk about Litecoin, we talked about Bitcoin Cash. Litecoin doesn't look so great to me, but at the same time, I could see this moving higher. We just had a sharp pullback, big reversal, and now it's time for the real show. Which, let me see what ABCD is here. Yeah, not seeing what I wanted to see. Too bad. I think that's all I've got for you guys today. Hello, Sean. I think all the rest, the juicy tidbits, some very nice juicy stuff that I'd like to go into, I will save for the after party, which gives me a 5-minute break and time to lower my aircon because it's really too hot in here, and then get back to you guys with a couple cool ideas and stocks that I'm looking at. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not already a member, consider subscribing. Free trial for 30 days, and you can be part of the community, interact with our veteran traders, and be part of the after party where you get all of the juicy details from different veteran traders every single day. I would say that is a big value added part of the community where you get to participate in this exclusive after party kind of question community. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, guys, I'll see you over in the after party. If I don't, join now and come. And if you can't, then I will see you next week in the after party after you join. All right.